Welcome to Smokey Uncuffed. I'm Brian, and on this channel, we're going to talk about law enforcement, social networking platforms that I use, and just life. That way I can talk about whatever I want. Today, I actually have a guest on. His name's Heath Green. He was a partner of mine on the Highway Patrol for 20 years, and for the last 3 or 4 years, we actually worked the exact same schedules. So here's the bad part of it. We actually can't talk about the Highway Patrol in particular. It's against policy, and he still works there.
Tell you what, Brian, next couple of months we'll see what happens. I may be back, and if I am back, hopefully I'll be retired next time I come back. We can talk about the Highway Patrol, because I'm sure we both have some pretty good stories that the listeners may like to hear.
Well, and I've actually told them some of them from my perspective, and some of them that I'm sure my wife and my family didn't want to hear about, like the one where I chased the cross rocket at 171 miles an hour in the car. My wife wouldn't have to hear about it.
Oh, no, I've got some that I don't tell my family, but, hey, it is what it is.
Right, so we're ruling Highway Patrol out. We can talk about the elephant in the room. Oh, Corona.
The coronavirus.
I mean, I can't ask you about it. I mean, I would think the law enforcement's looking at it from a perspective of you're going to have to protect yourself some way when you make a traffic stop.
We are. Actually, there hasn't really been anything come out yet, other than the fact, hey, wash your hands and
Don't touch your face.
exactly, don't touch your face. If you have to go hands-on with somebody, make sure you have gloves on just in case they do have it, but we don't know until later.
Right. I mean, I can see where that would just totally shut down law enforcement. I sent you a meme the other day, and it's a guy holding a little sign whenever the officer's at the window, and it says, "I've got coronavirus." And the officer's just looking at it, holding his ticket book. I myself, I'd just say, go ahead. Yes. I'm done.
My response would be, have a nice day, carry on. I'm not going to mess with that. Plus, I might have a sign that says I have it too, so who knows?
Yeah, so we're square. And so now that, since I've said that, we'll have 80,000 people doing that on traffic stops. But, actually yesterday I talked to a guy, and I went out, reached out to shake his hand, and I did my first elbow bump. He reached up with his elbow, wanting to bump me, and I go, okay. It's just odd to me.
Yeah, I haven't had the elbow bump yet. Who knows, we'll have the foot bump next time if you don't want to touch arms. But to me, I'm not going to say we're blowing it out of proportion, but I think we are blowing it out of proportion, to be honest with you.
I think media is just exploding. It is some great storytelling there.
Sure. How many people have died from the flu this year versus the coronavirus?
Gosh, in Oklahoma, tons more.
Exactly. There's one case in Oklahoma, in Tulsa County right now, and he flew in from Italy, and of course Italy's been shut down completely, it looks like.
Well, and he even quarantined himself.
Yes.
Right after he found out.
But, I have a conspiracy on that. They may want to hear it. I think, personally, it's a biological weapon that got out by accident, and we're trying to cover our tracks, but that's the conspiracy theory I have. Who knows?
Yeah, it's not far out of course, because, China knew about this. One of the reports said they knew about it 2 years ago. How would they know about it 2 years ago if they didn't have something to do with it?
Exactly, and the doctor that tried to call him out on it, he died from it?
The two guys,
yes,
two doctors just ended up dead, and I'm assuming it was natural causes. Who knows?
Yeah, caused by the natural coronavirus? I don't think so. And there's going to be conspiracy theories. There's going to be people that are going to, wear their little tinfoil hats around and say the government's coming to get you.
Right.
It's like the Spanish flu epidemic in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
Killed how many people? Hundreds of thousands, maybe millions.
Well, the Ebola virus, it's still active in Africa.
Yes.
And we're not even fixing that.
No. And what did we have last year? What was the big one last year that we had?
SARS?
SARS was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But we've had SARS, we've had the swine flu, the pig flu.
Oh, yeah. It's always
Which
something.
is the same. The bird flu.
The bird flu?
H1N1.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Let's not forget back in 1999, Y2K, the world was going to end.
Oh, yeah.
We were all going to do whatever.
Over. Let's go get in a bunker and drink antifreeze for the aliens to come pick us up. What was that group called? I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly.
It was in Utah or
yes.
Nevada.
Yeah, they were all going. There's always going to be something. It seems.
So with coronavirus aside, Where'd you grow up? Where are you from? Just tell us about you.
Well, Brian, I grew up in this lovely little town of Pauls Valley. Graduated high school in the early 90s, we'll say 1990. Went to OU for a couple of years. Was going to major in, started out physical therapy. Then went from that to, I wanted to be a dentist. And I'm sure people are going, well, how do you go from wanting to be a dentist to a trooper?
It's as screwed up as mine. I went from being a computer programmer to a trooper.
I got to throw in there also, I was going to be a pilot. So,
I've done that.
Yes, you have done that one. I envy you for that one. I wish I'd have done that. But no, then the university decided that, well, you're not making your grades, so we're going to ask you to leave. So then I ended up at Edmond, UCO, go Broncos. And I graduated from there. Worked in Norman for a while at a t-shirt shop. Was a floor supervisor. And then I got in patrol school. The third time I tried to get in. Not like some of these guys that got in the first time.
Hello.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I applied one time
Yes.
and
Present company.
first time swap, and we sat there. He said, "Yeah, I've done that. The flying. I actually used to fly for the patrol. I got my pilot's license while I was in college, and got hit up by the governor's pilot, and he got me over to the flying division. And then budget crunches, kind of like the one we're in now.
Yes.
Put all the pilots back to the road, and just about all the special services to the road, and I hated it.
It was nice having a guy that you went to school with, and the guy you knew up there in the air with you, because he knew what was going on down on the ground, and he knew exactly where you were, and he knew the surrounding area. And that was good in case something was to happen.
Well, and I think another point, I knew how you worked.
Exactly.
I know you didn't want something at 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. You want something at 15 to 25 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Oh, yeah. We'd sit there and wait all day if need be.
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't give your listeners a chance to run 85 plus because the trooper on the radio says, hey, you can do that.
Right.
No, it's just how some of us like to work, and if we're going to do it, we're going to hit you in the pocketbook, so to speak.
And the biggest problem, I've mentioned on here before, is every one of us works different. Mine was always 8 miles an hour. I would, if it was a 65, I'd give you 73. I know guys that give you 3 or 4.
Exactly. Guys have their own way of working, It just depends on where you are, what type of roadway. Interstate is controlled access only. Me personally, 80, 85 miles an hour, not that big of a deal.
Oh, not on the interstate anymore. That thing's a racetrack.
Yes. Now, your county roads and your state highways and your super 2 lanes, they want to call them shoulders. Yeah, you might get 3 or 4.
Right.
But you've got intersecting county roads and you've got driveways and stuff like that.
Yeah, you base that off of what kind of road it is and how many wrecks you've worked on that road, how dangerous an intersection it is.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. It just goes without saying. Guys are going to pick areas that they like to work, and they're going to have speeds they like to work. And we're all different.
So we mentioned it right there. So we actually have a refinery right here close to us, just south of Pauls Valley, the town we're in. And I understand they're having EPA problems. They're fixing to...
That's just what I understand. My understanding is the EPA has been giving them...
So basically like a free pass.
A waiver.
A waiver, yeah, until they get together. And so now we're going into a recession because of the coronavirus.
Yes, it's going to have global impact probably for a couple of years. especially with the oil and natural gas in Oklahoma because we're so reliant on that.
I saw today that somebody in Oklahoma City bought gas for $1.53.
I saw that. Yeah. Today in PV it was like $2.20 something, but I predict it's going to go down even further. And people, unfortunately, will probably end up losing their jobs, like we're talking about the Wynnewood refinery.
And that employs like 600.
Exactly. I hate to see what happened because my whole family's from that town, and my grandfather actually started working there in 1955, several years after it was built, and he retired from there. And both of my uncles worked down there. So not only are they going to lose their jobs, that whole town will be disrupted.
Well, even down where I'm from, Sulphur Davis, I don't know how many people from Sulphur work at that refinery. Tons.
Oh yeah, it's going to have a several county impact. Garvin, Murray, and I'm sure there are people from Carter County and McLean County and Pontotoc.
Not to mention the fuel production.
Exactly.
We're not going to have any more. It's going to raise the price up again.
Yeah, that's true. And from what I understand, they weren't blending enough ethanol, I guess was one of the reasons I'd heard.
Oh. I didn't know why. I just knew they were having EPA problems.
Just telling you what I read and saw and heard. They also do a lot of gas for the They blend a lot of what was it, JT8 jet fuel.
Yeah, jet fuel. Right.
For down around Altus and over at Fort Smith, or not Fort Smith, but
Tinker.
Fort Sill, Tinker.
Yeah.
A lot of that gas comes from that place.
Yeah, and I mean, the same guy still on with the guy out of Denver?
Yes, not Williams.
Yeah, I don't remember what the
I can't
name.
remember what Williams, I think, was the last owner.
I think it was the last one
That's
too.
from now.
I just knew he was out of Denver because, as I said, I did fly for the patrol, and I was stationed out of Paul's Valley Airport, and those guys that always fly in and they're nice King Air.
Yes.
I mean, it looked rough.
Between those guys and the Walmart distribution center with the big wigs from Walmart flying in every so often.
Or Seth Wadley.
That correct, Seth Wadley?
Seth Wadley, Ford, and how many dealerships he got here too?
He has 3, but this is not a plug for Seth Wadley by any means.
No. I was just laughing because he too has a really fancy airplane and jet sets around the country.
Yes. And he's got several other dealerships, I think, across the country. As a matter of fact, I think he's got several in the city. He owns one in Ada. I think Ada Nissan. Maybe
Gosh.
it is.
It's taking over the world.
Must be nice to be a car dealer.
Well, at that level, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I couldn't afford to buy anything from him.
No, I'm relegated to the used car lot guys you see in town.
Me
That's
too.
where I get all mine, especially for my kids. I got one that's driving age now, and that scares me.
So y'all can keep that in mind. If you have a nice jalopy, we may be interested.
Yes, we may, because if I do retire, I'm going to have to sell some stuff just to make it.
Well, that's my big secret. I don't know if I already mentioned it on here. You know, I had RV and boat storage. I built it 10, 11 years ago.
Yes.
And a month after I retired, I sold it. And we'll just say for somewhere around $500,000.
That must be nice.
And
Now he's just playing, folks. That's all he's doing now.
yeah, now I'm just playing. I mean, that is it. I play every day. But and don't get me wrong and think I'm loaded rich. All that really did was allow me to pay off debt. And I have.
Which I'm sure is a very nice feeling, isn't it?
I'm not completely debt free, actually.
Well, you're close.
I'm close. But just a couple more things and we'll be out of those woods. But we still got to have money because we got to pay those bills.
Yes, you do.
And what's killing me now is this getting old thing. I go to the doctor at least once a month for something.
Oh, yeah. I turned 48 last week. My body says I'm
Oh my
48.
God, you're old.
I am.
I'm 45.
Yeah, whatever. You've got that nice black beard there and hair. As you probably can see, guys, and girls, I don't have a lot of hair, and it's gray. But I did have hair when I first started doing this job. I don't know if it's the job, the kids, or the marriage, but I do love my wife. It's probably not her fault. But no,
We can point fingers, though.
yes, we can. We can blame everybody. I mean, how many times you pull somebody over and it's always somebody else's fault and
Oh,
not
yeah.
theirs.
Yeah, you just out of a car.
Exactly.
I mean, because we're blind, apparently.
Yes, you know.
We don't know how to run that radar. It's just pushing one button.
Yeah. I push a button and speed pops up. I don't know.
Can't explain how. That's what was the beauty of it, was the airplane, was the time and distance thing.
Yes.
So simple. I mean, many people wonder how that actually works. Next time you're going down a big interstate system, look over on the shoulder and you'll either see big white circles or big white squares. Here they're squares, and those are measured out every half mile. And I used a stopwatch that whenever your car got beside it, I simply clicked a button on a stopwatch, and then when you got by the next one, I click the other one. It's time and distance. It figures it immediately, and it's very accurate.
Yes. And try to explain that to somebody on the roadside who, one, is pissed that you stopped them.
Right.
Who doesn't believe they were doing that speed, which you got them a mile,
Oh,
half a mile, or a mile and a quarter back.
right.
And you lead them right to us.
Right.
You tell us what color it is. Can't really tell what kind of car it is, but if it's a pickup or SUV, yeah. I've had some people go, well, you just stopped me because I'm from Texas.
Right.
Well, that's a convenient excuse.
Well, I
It's
do have
Texas.
good eyes.
You do.
I mean, so at 2,000 feet, I can tell you got a Texas tag.
And that is, that reasonable excuse. Texas is 70-something miles away from here, so they're always going to say that. But I have had people with their radar detector complain that, well, my radar detector never went off. and I'm trying to explain to them we don't use radar. We use, it's called, VASCAR is what they used to call it.
Yeah.
Time and distance.
Right. It just figures time and distance too. Yeah.
And I would have them turn their radar detector completely up as if the plane is using a radar, and they think that's going to help them. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. But okay, if that's what you think, hey, more power to you.
Yeah, you got to have it at full volume to hear it.
Yes.
Pick it up.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you work aircraft speed. It's not with a radar. It's with the old time and distance.
What I love though, I mean, I had the same, when I'm doing my YouTube stuff, I always have the same intro, the outro, and it's always just a little catchphrase. But even doing the flying, I always loved it because it was the same exact thing. Okay, next unit up, I'm going to bring one at 94 miles an hour. It's going to be a red car outside lane. I'm going to get him at the next block and we'll see what he's doing this time. Oh, he's at 97 now. Okay, so next unit up, start rolling down the ramp. And he's 4 to you, 3 to you, 2 to you, at your door. That's the correct vehicle you have on the shoulder. And it was the same thing. Yes. I mean, I did it every time like that.
Yes, and then we knew. Like, okay, what is this one? All right, I see it. Go ahead and give me a breakdown, just because we're writing at the same time. He's telling us we're writing down what color it is.
Okay, so a breakdown.
A breakdown. It's a breakdown. Time.
Yeah, time I clocked him.
The mile marker.
The mile marker, I got him
and
at.
the speed.
And the speed, that's breakdown.
And then on occasion, during the old days, I don't know if Brian did it very much, but I know when we had other pilots, you would occasionally get somebody that just did not believe.
Non-believers. I've done it.
Did not believe that we had an aircraft up there. Of course, they'd look up and they're not going to see it at 2,000 feet because you're already, a mile or so behind us getting another one. But we would go and say, hey, got a non-believer. And he's like, okay, have them look out their passenger side door. And I swear they weren't 50 feet off the deck and they'd come across to that big OHP on the tail and then go off and we'd wave at them and look back at them and they'd go, okay, all right, I believe you.
There was one of them I was flying one time. It had to cross the top of the wings. And
Yes.
so I could bank that thing on its side that said OHP, whatever the plane number was.
Right.
And then they just look at it like, oh.
Yeah, and to me, why would you think I was out there just making something up? I've got
Right.
better things to do than just come up and make up a speed. Oh, we've got an airplane up there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it worked. It was amazing. It worked amazingly well. Now then, I'm going to say this. We said that. I'll say this. When I was on the road, I didn't like working too much.
No.
I mean, I always knew you guys didn't like it much either. That's why I never went longer than an hour. That was it.
That's the point. And it can, especially on a heavy traffic day down here for us, Fridays and Sundays. But we always, for whatever reason, the brass would
I love it.
schedule an aircraft assignment on a heavy traffic day. And then you would have some pilots that would get not necessarily overzealous, but would bring you 3 and 4 at a time.
I know which one you're talking about.
3 and 4 at a time, and you've got them on the shoulder. And back in the old days, when we didn't have computers and everything was done on handwritten on a ticket book, you could, on occasion, get somebody's license mixed in with somebody else's citation. And we used to handwrite the tickets. They've got what's called the hard card, and you just put their license in with an envelope that had the whatever district you stopped on,
Right.
the courthouse, had the information on it. Well, I was new, and I stopped a couple cars down. It was actually in Carter County when I first broke in down there when I started. I got the licenses mixed up. One guy was from Kansas and one guy was from Nebraska, if I remember correctly. And I didn't realize it until I'd handed the other guy his stuff and he pulled his license out and he goes, that's not me.
Oh, no.
And I had a little bit of a panic attack, if you will. So I told the guy, I said, hey, just follow me. Don't go as fast as I'm getting ready to go, but just kind of keep up about half a mile back or a mile so you can see me. I want to go over and try to find this other guy.
Right.
So this was around the 40-mile marker. I finally got the guy stopped around the 78 in Garvin County.
At least you caught him, though.
Yeah, exactly. At least I caught him.
At least he didn't have to go to the bathroom with a casino.
Exactly. Yes. I was embarrassed. Hey, everybody's new once, right?
Right. Oh, and that stuff happens.
It does.
And what I laugh about is the one you were talking about that pulled somebody over. I always remember the story of when he put like 5 to 6 to the shoulder, landed at the airport, got in his car, drove out there and started writing tickets to the guys he just pulled over with the airplane. Now, I did never do that.
That's dedication right there. That is dedication.
Really wanting to do it. So do you follow any pro sports? I'm a big basketballer. I watch a lot of pro basketball.
Yeah, you're a Golden State fan, right?
I'm a Golden State fan, and right now it's hard to be their fan because they are the worst team in the league. And Steph finally came back.
I saw that.
For a game.
Well, I mean, hey, he came back, didn't he?
And then they decided to test him for coronavirus, and he ended up just having type A flu. And
that's everybody's excuse now for they're not playing well or they're not going to work. I have corona.
well, he actually was playing well. He hit some of those crazy 3-pointers, and he just started feeling bad, and they decided they better test him.
I'm not a huge NBA basketball fan. I do like the Thunder because at the start of the season, everybody wasn't
Oh.
giving them any kind of credit. Hey, more power to them.
Oh,
They've done
they're-
excellent this year
they're
with no
kicking
bias.
it. They're kicking it. They've got 2 or 3 good little players. Did you see LeBron James' interview where they were talking to him? They said, "So what are you going to do if they make it where they're not going to open the games to the public because of the coronavirus?"
Right. Was it something he wasn't going to play? If the
Yeah,
fans
yeah,
weren't
that's
there?
exactly it. He flat said, he goes, "Well, if they're not there, I'm not playing. I'll just take off."
I don't blame him. I mean, that's who pays the bills. Or
Well,
pays
and that's
the
who
salary,
he's
right?
playing. They're playing for.
Right.
They're playing for the public.
Right.
They're not playing for themselves. I
Right.
mean, not as much. I mean, they're playing. It's entertainment.
Right. How boring would it be if you get paid hundreds of millions of dollars? Say the Lakers and the Clippers are playing, and the only people there are you and the bench.
And all you hear when you do a good dunk is,
Exactly. not even anybody there playing the organ. You know, anything like that. I mean, how boring would that be?
I mean, yeah. I mean, would they televise it?
I guess that'd be the only way. I mean, you might have the owners sitting up in their press boxes, which they could have been on the front row.
Putting their hand sanitizer on, wearing their mask.
Oh yeah, speaking of hand sanitizer, you tried to buy any lately?
I have not.
It's gone. Go to Walmart. There is none.
Well, I did notice when I was walking down, they were restocking Walmart in Sulphur, and the toilet paper aisle, there was one thing
Yes.
of toilet paper. And that thing's like huge shelves of it.
Toilet paper and hand sanitizer.
So what's up with the toilet paper? I'm not understanding.
I don't know. I really have no idea. You have
Does that-
diarrhea a lot with.
Does that defend against coronavirus? Do you wrap yourself in
I
it?
guess you have diarrhea so bad you've got to go through a whole roll every time you go to the bathroom.
I don't know. It's kind of an odd thing to have a run on. I mean, well, no pun intended.
I got you.
You want to have runs on
You want all the toilet paper you can get. You've got the run,
right, correct. But no, I haven't tried to get hand sanitizer.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Well, and I know they're already saying the masks are gone. I think
yeah.
you couldn't buy a mask a month ago.
No, because people are, as usual, gouging. I think I saw somewhere that somebody had hand sanitizer from Walmart. Like those little, where they come in 1.5 ounce jars,
Right.
I guess. $80.
$80, an entrepreneur.
Exactly. Hey,
He's just
capitalism, right?
He's working.
Hey,
Well,
You
here's
gotta
the
get wealth out of
something that if somebody's dumb enough to pay that for it,
I agree. Well, that's like the weapons ban several years ago that we got into, that we're going to ban all your guns.
oh
and
yeah,
all these people are buying ARs for, $5,000 when they
Right.
cost you $500.
right. And I've actually talked about this a little bit before on here. The analogy I used was, yeah, let's put all these gun control laws up and ban them because that'll work.
Yes.
The bad guys won't have it anymore because drug control works.
Yes.
We don't have any bad druggies
The
around.
war on drugs has really worked. Right? Yeah, and exactly. We're going to do a buyback, government buyback,
Right.
and we're going to buy your guns back. You think the criminals are going to go, oh, they're going to give me $500 for this? Awesome.
Right.
Negative.
Yeah, most criminals are going to have to go figure out how to stamp serial numbers back on the guns that they ground them off of.
Exactly. Here, we'll just go ahead and take one of those label makers and put an ID on there. It's good. All
I
good.
mean, it's the craziest thought in the world that they think that by banning guns, it's going to stop bad guys from having guns.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same thing as saying you can't speed.
Right. And we all know how that works, right?
Only way you're going to stop that is to put a governor on every car where it can speed. And guess what? Some shade tree mechanic is going to know how to take it off and then just blow all the cops' doors off because their cars are governor.
Exactly. It's like we take one step forward and 3 steps back when it comes to stuff like that.
Ridiculous.
Doesn't make any sense, but hey.
And then in the end, everything's just getting softer and softer and
Yes.
softer on crime.
Yes.
It kills me.
Yes, you can't do anything. It's not like the old days. And again, if and when I come back and I am retired, we'll talk about some things
Oh, absolutely.
that happened in the past.
I mean, you bet. I would love just to have free reign, kind of like Joe Rogan.
Yes.
And I mean, I love his podcast, how they're just the rapport. I mean, this has really worked cool. I mean, this is
Yeah,
different
it
from
has.
what I normally do. And just the back and forth, I enjoy this more than sitting in my little booth and talking to
Right.
the camera.
It's better than, like I refer to it as court testimony, where you ask me a question, I give you an answer.
Oh, yeah.
That's boring as can be.
Yeah.
And you dare not act this way in court. You dare not just go off on a tangent because they look at you kind of funny. when you do
Oh,
that.
good gosh, I've got court stories. Hey, you seen that show out that they're going to call it live court or court TV or something? greatest dadgum preview I ever saw. That they sat there and this guy, they're fixing to put judgment on this dude, telling him what his sentence is going to be, and this man stands up in the audience and goes, "Judge, if I could, I want to throw my hat in the ring. If you would just give me 5 minutes with him and no jail time, we could take care of this." And the judge just looked at him blankly and goes, "Sir, I really can't do that." But it was his kid that this guy did something to.
Yes.
He was just going to handle it.
You know, there's a lot of people out there that are that way.
I'm all for it. I'm for that kind of punishment.
Oh, I agree. And on something like that, you know how society now is really, I'm not going to say they're against law enforcement, but it's not the prestigious job that it used to be 20, 25 years ago, even 30 years ago.
Oh, absolutely not.
But why are there so many law enforcement TV shows out there? Live PD. You got, you know, the Law and Order that's been running for, I don't know, since I was a kid.
NYPD?
Yes.
Blue, CSI?
Yes. Well, I don't understand it. It's floored me.
I don't know.
You know, you don't want to have actual law enforcement do their job, but we're going to watch them on TV do their job, and we think that's great. And they kick more people's butts than we do.
And we want their version of it,
Yes.
which is so false. I mean, crap. You don't go out and get in a shooting and kill 2 bad guys, and you're back at work tomorrow.
Boy, you're not back at work that day.
I
These
mean,
guys go out and kill 2 or 3, and they're back in the office going,
yeah,
okay, we gotta
they
go
just
somewhere
jump
else.
back in the car. Let's
Yeah.
go get some dinner.
Uh-uh.
And I mean, you're off for months, people. Whenever you do that, when you shoot somebody, it can just be shoot one person. They don't have to die.
No.
You're going to be off for a month of
At
investigation.
At least. You know, and you've also got other people involved in that. Not only your department's involved in it, then you've got, you know, the DAs that are wanting to know what's going on,
Right.
and your attorney,
Right.
because you're going to have an attorney.
Right.
Trust me. If you don't, well, let's say you should. But it just floors me. You watch all these TV shows, and my kids are like, "Does it happen that way?" I'm like, no.
No.
It does not happen that way. Of course, I don't work in Louisiana, like
Right.
NCIS New Orleans.
Right. But I still don't think it works that way.
No, I don't either.
Well, it's kind of like, I love watching shows where people are flying helicopters. And they're sitting there and they've got the little joystick and they're holding their collective and they're going to turn left, and so they do this. Well, you just flip that thing upside down, because literally you can put that joystick inside your finger, inside that little round hole in your fingers, and that's as much as the joystick ever moves.
Yeah. I don't know. You're the pilot. I'm not, but I can see that.
But when they do that, they bank it over. Well, you just flipped it upside down. You ate dirt.
Yeah.
Man, that's all you've done. But I mean, yeah, we just kind of wandered off there. What I was getting at is, I enjoy watching Joe Rogan, because I mean, that guy. Who knew the dude that hosted Fear Factor was brilliant?
Oh, I know.
I mean, you can ask him anything, and he's got some knowledge of it.
Oh yeah. I've only seen a couple of them. There's a guy that I
Oh, I'm
watch.
going to tell you one.
Go ahead.
Edward Snowden. Watch when he interviews Edward Snowden. I have never in my life watched a 3-hour podcast.
Oh wow.
And I watched it on YouTube. Watch the entire thing. You'll listen to him for 5 minutes and you go, "Oh, our government did that."
Oh yeah.
And they did it to him. I mean, you're just going, "Holy crap."
Right. You know, when all that story broke, I'm not naive to think that we weren't capable, and I say we, the government,
Right.
aren't capable of doing stuff like that.
But there's several. I've listened to 2 or 3 now that have been 2 hours long, and one that was really interesting was Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm. Haven't seen. Like I said, I haven't really seen a lot.
When it started, Joe Rogan's going, "So what are you going to do?" And he goes, "What do you mean what I'm going to do?" He goes, "Well, what are you going to do?" I mean, he goes, "I'm just going to live life." He said, "Look, there's no cure for macular degeneration," which Robert Downey Jr.'s got.
Did not know that.
And he said, "So when I guess it completely takes over, I'm going to be the blind actor. Or I'm just going to retire. I'm rich." And he goes, "So why are you so...
You're Iron Man.
Why are you so bent on this that... What are you going to do?" And you're sweating. And he goes, "Because I've got it too."
Oh, really?
Joe Rogan's
Oh, wow.
got it too. And he's panicking. Because he doesn't
See
want
that.
to... well, I mean, I'd be worried about it. You told me that I was going to lose my vision in another month. I'd be freaking smooth out.
Yeah, no doubt. I would too. Wow.
Yeah, I just find that kind of stuff, the human interest. I mean, just about them, it was just interesting.
See, you learn something every day, even if it's on a podcast. Hey, you never
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I try to be informative.
I got you. I'm informed.
Well, man, this has been a lot of fun, and we are definitely going to be doing this again, especially after you retire.
Oh yes, yes. I've had a ball. It's been fun.
That way we can just go off the handle. I mean, come off the chain
Yes.
and just tell some stories.
Yes. Stay tuned. As the old days used to say, film at 11. You know.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Wait for it.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, that's going to be it. We're going to wrap this up. So, I'll see y'all and hear y'all next time.